right, good morning, Guardians fans. We are back for game 2 of the series with Carshield down here in St. Louis, Missouri. Last night, if you weren't able to watch, the Guardians were victorious, 5-1. So right away, Carshield comes right out and scores on the opening face-off. Carshield wins the draw. They dump it up the boards. That comes out to Simonson as he regrouped the zone. He passes over to Morvacek. Morvacek then gets it up to Lynette. Lynette gets it over to Olson. Olson can't get it over to O'Brien as he goes down. Carshield picks it up behind their net. They rim it around to the half wall. They start to skate it out of their zone as they start to move through the neutral zone. He's then taken on by one of the Guardians. They pick it back up, go cross ice. They now take it to the outside. Morvacek pokes that puck to the wall. Then intercepted by Olson. Olson starts to turn up ice. He tries to get it up to Lynette. Lynette now bangs it off the boards back to Olson. Olson passes it up to O'Brien. O'Brien loses in the skates. Then ref kicks it. Puck now comes back to Cromlin. Cromlin starts to move up the ice. He's pushed. Sorry, that's Higgy with the puck. He moves it over to... It's on. Barnow pushes the puck back to Amos. Amos then throws it deep into the zone. Barr's trying to get him as they circle around behind the net. Puck's now loose in the corner. They throw it down and then slap at the length of the ice, and that's going to be an icing. Face-off's won by the Guardians. They shoot. That's blocked. Now Carshield has a break. He's taken down from behind by Campbell. He's going to get a penalty. That's one we'll probably take, as he would have had a free break to the net if Campbell went ahead and taken him down. Now Guardians will have to go on the penalty kill. 12:25 left in the first period. Scores 1-0 after Carshield comes out with that opening face-off and scores. Face-off now down in the Guardian zone. Guardians come away with that draw. Campbell now moving up the ice. He gets to the outside. He's got a step on the fence. He moves it towards the net. He's then brushed off. Puck's kicked down in the corner. Campbell picks it back up. He then goes down. Carshield rims it around to the boards. As they start to skate it out of the zone, they tap it around Simonson as they start to go into the zone. They then pass it cross ice, but he's taken down by Higgy. It's then shot back on net. Wall's able to kick save that out to Campbell. Campbell now goes off the wall. That's going to go the length of the ice. That's going to be an icing. .57 seconds left on this penalty kill for the Guardians. Face-off comes back into their zone. Carshield comes away with the draw. They skate it around the net. Then throw it right out front. That goes all the way through. Olson picks it up on the backside as he starts to skate out of the zone. He's got Algrim up the ice. Can't quite get it up to him. Carshield now coming back the other way through the neutral zone. Algrim now strips the puck away. He skates it to the outside. He gets around, he hits the brakes, he's trying to get it towards the middle of the ice. He skates in through the dot, tries to get it over to Olson, but that puck's intercepted. Carshield now able to toss that puck out into the neutral zone. Olson gets back, picks that puck up. Morvacek goes back into his own zone to pick it up. He rims it around The boards, that's enough to get out into the neutral zone as Carshield starts to regroup in their own zone. Olsen then tries to dump that puck deep, but intercepted by Carshield as they move in towards the near side here through the neutral zone. They cut back in towards the middle, then tip up. That's blocked by Olsen. They then pass it out of the zone. Crowley nearly intercepts that. Now we're going to have offsides on Carshield. May have been a missed call as they're moving it back to center ice here. Face-off's won by Carshield. They dump it all the way back into their zone. They then go cross ice. Defense steps up. Piggy's able to keep that puck in the zone, but then Carshield hammers it down. That comes to Cronlin. Cronlin hammers it back up the boards. Carshield picks it up. They start to skate it and dump it down into the zone. Piggy's forced to go back as that puck rims all the way around to the far corner. He's battling now with a guy. Barr moves in to help out. Barr now trying to get it up. That puck comes out in the middle. That's broken up by Cronlin. Guardians come around, they pass it up to Amos. Amos then gets it out into the middle of the ice, but it's picked up by Carshield as they start to regroup. That's nearly intercepted by O'Brien, but Carshield coming back the other way. They now dump it down into the zone, and the net goes back to pick it up behind the net. He steps around one guy. The net now dumps it the length of the ice, and that's going to be waved off for an icing. Carshield picks it up. Campbell's able to break that play up right on the blue line as Guardians now take it down into the zone. Campbell hits the brakes. He circles towards the center. He's looking for an open man. He gets Cronlin down on the far side at the point. He passes it back over to Simonson. Simonson back to Cronlin. Cronlin now with the lane to the net. He passes it over to Campbell's shot. Puck's loose out in front. Carshield's then able to clear the puck. That's going to go the length of the ice. That's going to tip off Simonson's stick, so it's not going to be an ice. He's got to go back to get it in his own zone. He circles back. He tips it out to Cronlin. Cronlin trying to move it up the boards to Campbell as he's battling with two Carshield players. They get it. They try to center. That's broken up by the Guardians. Puck then goes up through the crease to the near side here. Carshield able to dump that puck back down deep into the zone. As that rims around, Cronlin then throws it around. Campbell tries to break to the far wall. He's unable to get that out. Carshield still holding the zone. Simonson then tips it up. Campbell then slaps it out of the zone. That's going to go length of the ice, but it's tipped. No ice. Carshield picks it up behind their net. They then pass it out to their winger, then go cross ice, intercepted by Higgy. Higgy steps in. He has that puck poked away. Carshield now coming out of their own zone. Amos steps in, trying to hold that zone, but it gets out into the neutral zone. Higgy now with it. He starts to skate it down into the zone. He gets to the outside. He tries to cut it back to the middle. Then back to the outside. He starts to skate it around behind the net. He then passes through the middle. Puck's loose out in front. Barr's there. He's trying to get around. He's looking for an opening. He tries to get it down to Amos. Amos hammers that down to keep the puck in the zone. He tries to get it back to Barr. Then go cross ice. Lynette's taken down as Carshield starts to come out. Guardians then throw it back out in the neutral zone. That's going to go the length of the ice. That's going to be waved off as Algrim's able to get there. Algrim now there. He tries to get it out front, has that puck poked away. Lynette now battling in the corner along with Algrim. Algrim goes out to Higgy. Higgy gets over to Simonson. Sorry, that's Moravicek. Gets it over to Simonson. Goes to Barr in the corner. Barr now battling in the corner as he starts to skate it around behind the net. He's now looking. He passes it off to Moravicek. Moravicek throws it down deep in the zone as that rims around behind the net. The net picks it up. He then passes it out, trying to get it to Barr, but that's intercepted. Carshield now with it. They're starting to skate it out of the zone. They go across ice as they start to move through the neutral zone. They dump it in as they go for a change. Moravicek goes behind the net to pick it up. He starts to skate it up out of the zone. He's got some room to the outside. He's now dumps it down into the zone. but then has that puck poked away as Carshield brings it back to the middle as they're coming back the other way. Carshield has that puck poked away into the corner by Simonson and O'Brien. Puck then comes up the wall. Their defense able to hold and fire it on net. That's tipped. Wall's able to make a stick save out to the far corner. Morvacek then fires it. Can't get it out of the zone. Battle there on the half wall. Guardians are now able to get it out of the zone. O'Brien picks it up. He starts to move to the neutral zone. He's got O'Brien on the far side. Campbell steps to the middle. He tries to get it over. Puck's loose. Goalie poke checks it out of there. Carshield. Now Barr picks it up in the center. He has that puck poked away. Cronlin's able to step up, keep that puck in the zone. O'Brien goes back to forecheck down here in the new corner. Carshield then able to throw that up the boards. That's going to go all the way down in the Guardian zone. Cronlin picks it up as he regroups. He starts to skate it up the ice. Carshield now throws it up the boards. Higgy's able to hold it, get it back down deep. O'Brien now battling there on the half wall. Campbell comes in to help out. O'Brien just two hands that Carshield player. He's going to go in the box for that. Will come back into the Guardian zone as Carshield go on the power play. Puck shot, Wall kicks or saves that out to the corner. Carshield picks it up, they throw it out front, shot, that goes wide. Lynette now hustling over to get it, he throws it, he's able to get that puck out into the neutral zone. Carshield now goes D to D, then fans on it trying to get it up ice. They're able to get control. That's going to be offsides on Carshield. Carshield wins the draw. They start to skate in the zone. They shoot. That goes wide into the far corner. And that's their battle, and they chip it around behind the boards. Carshield picks it up behind the net. They then try to center, and that goes up behind the net again. Simonson then backhands it. That comes all the way out to the defense of Carshield. They throw it back down deep into the corner. Simonson now with it. He gets tied up. He's battling for the puck. That puck comes out right through the middle to the far near side here. They rim it around back behind the net as they pick it up. They then cut back. They got a guy in the high slot. They shoot. That just goes wide. They throw it back out front. Simonson now able to clear it out. Their defense is able to hold and dump it back down deep into the corner. Simonson now trying to use his body to get control of that puck. Carshield picks it up as they were tied up. They skate around the net, wrap around, shot, and a goal. Carshield goes deep into the zone. Barr now back in the corner. He picks it up as he comes around his own net. He tries to get it up to Amos, has that puck poked away. They skate it back towards the net. They get it through the far side. They're not able to reach it. Puck comes out to Campbell. Campbell now with it. He hits the brakes as he starts to create some space. He now cuts back towards the outside. Barr now tries to get it up to Campbell, but Campbell goes down. Carshield picks it up as their own zone as they're able to regroup D to D. They now throw it out into the neutral zone. Puck's still loose here in the neutral zone as both teams are battling for it. Higgy now takes it to the outside. He gets pushed. He comes around behind the net. He circles through the top of the circles. He passes it over to Campbell at the point. Campbell now skating it in towards the net. He's looking for an opening. He comes around. He's looking. He gets it down to Cronlin. Cronlin passes over to Higgy. Higgy now has a lane to shoot. He fires. That hits the goaltender. Puck's loose in front, and he's able to cover that one up. .255 left in the first period. Score is 2-0 in favor of Carshield. Face off down in Carshield zone. Olsen in to take the draw. Carshield wins that draw down into their corner. They then fire it up the boards, and they're able to get that puck out in the neutral zone. Moravicek goes back. He then circles around. He throws it to the far side, trying to get it to Lynette. Olsen picks it up at center ice. He starts to gain the Carshield zone. He's got a lane to the net. He fires. That's blocked out into the corner. Carshield then rims it around to the half wall. Lynette's able to get a stick on it, throw that puck back around behind the net. Olsen then pokes it through. Algrim trying to get there. He's able to get control of that puck. He then turns and fires it back down deep into the zone. Carshield now with it. They're able to flip that puck up into the neutral zone. Simonson's able to knock that down as he starts to skate it towards the zone. He then dumps it deep as that rims around into the near corner there. Algrim now battling right out here in front. Simonson passes it over to Moravicek. Moravicek now up to Lynette on the far side. Lynette can't hold on to that pass cleanly as it goes down into the zone. Carshield then throws it back up the boards. They then tip around. That's poked away by Barr. It comes to Carshield here on the far side. They try to dump it in deep. That's stripped away by Amos. Amos now skating it up the far side. He can't hold on to it. He's stripped off the puck. Carshield picks it up on the far side. That rims around. Barr's trying to get there. He gets control of that puck as he starts to skate around. He passes out to Higgy at the point. Higgy then toes around one. He shoots. Tipped out front. Shot and a goal! That's from Barr to Higgy. And I believe O'Brien tipped that one in. Sorry, that was Amos that tipped that in, I think. Guardians are able to put the first mark on the board of the day. Score is now 2-1 with 1:20 left in the first period. Carshield starts to gain the Guardian zone. We're going to get a penalty as Cromlin goes for the body. He doesn't play the puck. Carshield now centers and get a touch up. We're going to have a whistle. Face off down the Guardian zone as they're going to have to kill off this penalty. Face-off's won. And that tries to throw that around. Puck's loose in front. They fire it back towards the middle. They get on the backside. They shoot, but Wall's able to seal that up and cover. Big save there as that puck came all the way through to the weak side. Wall's able to slide over and seal that up. Scrum out the face-off as it comes into the half wall. Carshield able to get a stick on it, dump it down deep in the zone. Higgy then rims it around to the far side as Algrim picks it up with some speed. He then gets that puck out into the neutral zone as Carshield picks it up as they start to regroup. They move it up through the neutral zone as they start to gain the Guardian zone. Simonson trying to push him to the outside. He pokes the puck off into the far corner. He then gets it out. He throws it out. Their defense able to hold. They shoot it towards the net. That's kick saved by Wall. They pick it back up. They fire. That goes out the post. Ends up behind Wall. Puck's now loose. Wall's trying to get up. He does another save, and that goes in. Face-off's won by Barr. Barr now starting to skate it into the zone. He's battling with a guy right there on the blue line. Carshield now throws out the neutral zone. Moravicek goes cross ice to regroup. Higgy then slaps it down into the zone. That goes down. Carshield then rims it all the way around. That's going to go to Morvacek. That's going to be the end of the first period. So after one, score is 3-1 in favor of Carshield. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back for period 2. Just about to start the second period. Scores 3-1 after one. Both teams started to line up as we move in for this opening face-off of the second period. Face-off is pushed forward. Guardians now with it. They pass up to Cronlin. Cronlin trying to get it up to Lynette. He's poked off the puck. Battling right here. Barr's in to help out. That comes to Cronlin. Cronlin's able to kick that puck back up to himself. He's then taking out the puck. Lynette's able to dump that puck down deep into the zone. O'Brien coming up the far side there to cut him off as they're rimming around the net. Barr's there as well. Barr's able to power his way through, but Carshield now able to start breaking out of the zone. They try to make a centering pass, but that's broken up. That's dropped to O'Brien. That comes out to Lynette. Lynette's got some room to the far side here. He skates it in towards the net. He hits the brakes. Then dumps it off to O'Brien. O'Brien now cuts it through the middle. Shot and a goal! That's goal number 2 for the Guardians. I believe it was maybe Lynette there that dropped that off to O'Brien. He's able to cut back towards the net and score the second one here for the Guardians. Scrum right out here in front. Simonson picks it up in his own zone. He starts to look cross ice, then comes back to Morvacek. Morvacek then fires with that plastic block. Comes back to Carshield in the neutral zone. They pick it up, they pass it over to the far side. They lose the puck right there on the blue line. Guardians then throw it up the boards and it comes back the other way. Simonson now picks up the puck loose at center ice. He skates it to the outside. He drops it off to Lynette. Shot. Puck's loose out in front. Comes out behind the net. Carshield comes out with it. They then go cross ice. He's got a breakaway. He can't hold on to the puck. Guardians were able to get back and break that up. That comes in the wall. Wall pushes it to safety over in the corner. Picked up by Morvacek. Morvacek now goes cross ice trying to get it to Campbell. Carshield now dumps it back into the zone. Simonson brings it over to Morvacek in his own zone. Morvacek then goes up to Campbell. Campbell now with the puck. He moves it over to Simonson in his own zone. They now go cross ice through the middle to Olsen, but he can't hold on. Carshield goes back to pick it up in their own zone. Looks like we're going to have another penalty.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Not even sure what this is for. Left in the second period. Guardians go back on the PK. The The face-off goes down in the zone. Guardians win the draw. That rims all the way around to the far corner. Hagee and Holmgren there trying to get control of the puck. Hagee picks it up. He throws it all the way around the far side. That goes out there to the fence. Get him! Carshield fired a bunch of pucks on that. Barr's able to get it out into the neutral zone. Holmgren racing to the puck as he's trying to beat. He gets control. He's then taken down. No call. Absolutely no call. Carshield now coming back the other way. They lose it though. Crowlin picks it up. He fires it back down into the Carshield zone. Barr goes in to put pressure on in the corner. They throw it up the wall. That's blocked. But Carshield's able to push its way through out into the neutral zone. Barr picks up the puck. He now skating to get through center ice. He steps around one guy and then dumps it down deep into the zone. He's taken down as he's dumping that puck into the zone. That'll even things out as Carshield gets a penalty of their own. It'll be 4-on-4 hockey here for about 30 seconds, and then Guardians will come back, bring the fifth skater back out on the ice. We'll have a minute of power play. Face-off's won by the Guardians. Campbell picks it up. He circles in towards the net. He steps around a guy. He looks to fire, then holds off. He skates it back. He's looking for an opening. He dumps it off to Simonson. Simonson now stepping off. He gets it to Campbell. Campbell now moving it down deep into the zone as he starts to move towards the net. He then hits the brakes. He comes around. He's trying to get it to the middle. He backhands it, and that's gloved by the goaltender. Face-off's won to Simonson. Simonson's then poked off the puck as Carshield dumps it out into the neutral zone. Simonson picks it back up. He backhands it over to Morvacek. Morvacek now with the puck. He gets to try to go cross ice. That's intercepted. Morvacek goes back to pick it up. He looks over to his D partner, gets it over to Simonson. Simon picks it up, moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien now starts to move it in. He's poked off the puck. Simonson now with it. He's trying to get across the red line, dump it in. He gets it up to Olsen. Olsen now to O'Brien. O'Brien moving toes. He toe drags and then poked off the puck. Here comes the Morvacek at the point. He skates it in. He fires it towards the net, but doesn't have much on it. Puck's loose. Shot just goes wide. Campbell picks it up behind the net. He's going to go through the middle, finds O'Brien on the backside. O'Brien then tries to backhand it to Simonson, but that's off its mark. Comes back all the way into the Guardian zone. Simonson then fans on it. He passes it out. They got a break right towards the net. Simonson now able to get a stick on it. They fire it towards the net. That goes around to the far side. Guardians now able to poke that around to the fence. Campbell moving up the far side. He steps towards the middle. Guardians going to be offsides. Or a face-off just outside the zone. 9:17 left in the second period. Scores 3-2. As Guardians start to make a push to tie this one up. Both teams are full strength. Barr in to take the draw. Carshield comes away with it. They start to move it to the neutral zone. Crowlin steps up, and Carshield pokes it deep down in the zone. Hagee goes back behind his net to pick it up. He tries to get it up to Lynette. Lynette tries to move it to Barr. Barr now with it through the neutral zone. He steps around one guy. He's got a break to the net. He's got one guy to beat. He comes around, gets it on his backhand, shoots. That's blocked away by the goaltender. Barr's taken down after that shot. There's going to be a penalty on Carshield. And we'll have a face-off down in the Carshield zone as we go on the power play. Carshield's having some confusion on their bench as they struggling to figure out who they want on the ice. Refs now over talking to them. All right, we're back to play. Guardians on the power play, face off down in their zone. Guardians win the draw. Amos on it, he shoots, that's blocked, comes to Barr, Barr shoots, that's blocked again by the goaltender. He tries to tip it around. Carshield now throws it around, that comes to Higgy, he gets it back. He tries to get it to Barr, but that puck's intercepted. Comes out in the neutral zone, Crowlin now with it, he passes it over to Higgy. Higgy now starts to move the ice, he moves it to Lynette. Lynette now dumps it down deep into the zone, that goes around behind the net, Carshield picks it up. They throw it around the boards. Crowlin's able to step up. He taps it over to Amos. Amos now with it. He backhands it. Not able to get enough on it, but Carshield comes out with it. They're now skating it up the far side. Crowlin breaks that up right on the blue line. Carshield was offsides there, but Higgy now skating it out of his own zone as he starts to move into the neutral zone. He's got some speed. He moves it to the outside. He then shoots. That's blocked. Puck's loose in front, nearly goes in. Goalie's able to make a skate save there. Amos now with it. He's trying to get it to the front. He's taking off the puck. That comes out to Crowlin at the point. Crowlin dumps it back deep down to Amos. Amos now in the high slot. He's got some room. He passes it. That's on net. Barr there to shoot. And he scores. That's Amos to Barr to tie this one up. Barr's sitting there on the back door. That puck rebounds, comes right to him, and he gets a gift as he's able to get the equalizer goal here. Face-off's won by the Guardians. Campbell comes right out into the zone off the draw. He moves it to the outside. He comes around. He's looking to get it out front. He comes around behind the net. He's looking for an opening. He skates it right into the middle of the ice. He's then taking out the puck. He's tripped up. Olsen then fires around behind the net. Aldrin goes back to follow. Carshield tries to clear that one out, but the ref helped us out there and hit him on the keister as it was trying to break it out. Aldrin now picks it up in the corner. He's taken on by Carshield. They rim it around to the far side. Olsen's going to be there. He then moves it. Oh, just has that puck poked away. Simonson's able to hold it and fire that puck back down deep. Aldrin picks it up behind the net. He circles around. He gets it out to Morvacek. Morvacek takes a step towards the net. He has that puck poked away as Carshield now starts to skate it through the neutral zone. Simonson moving him to the outside. He makes a move on the blue line, but he gets around Simonson. He now fires, and that's gloved and goes in. Just tips off the glove on wall, and Carshield scores their fourth in the game. Left. Carshield wins the draw. They start to move it. Comes to Higgy. Higgy then goes cross ice to Lynette. Lynette now on the far side. He passes it through the middle. That's intercepted. That comes out. Barr's trying to hold the zone. Carshield's able to get that back out the neutral zone. Crowlin throws it up the boards. O'Brien's there. He moves it over to Barr. Barr now with it. He steps around. He fires in the glove. A little face-off down in the Carshield zone. Guardians come away with the draw. They rim it around to Higgy. Higgy now steps it into the zone. He moves it down deep. He cuts it to the middle and then poked off the puck. They then throw it up the boards. They'll get it out in the neutral zone. Crowlin goes back to regroup. Crowlin hits a break. He dumps it off to Higgy. Higgy now's got some room to skate. He moves it up just out of the reach of O'Brien, but they're going to call a tip, no ice. They're forced to go back. Barr in pursuit behind the net. He's able to take him off the puck. Barr now with it. He tries a centering pass. Puck's now loose. Crowlin's going to step up at the point. He's got it. He chips it off to safety into the corner. Barr now battling. He gets control of the puck and then taken off. Carshield then rims it around the far side. Higgy's going to step up to hold the zone. That's going to get around him. Crowlin picks it up in the neutral zone and then goes cross ice. Has that puck poked away. Carshield now moving to the outside. Crowlin tries to get back. He's able to push him back to the outside. That's going to be a penalty on Crown as he gets a stick in the skates there and he goes down. Once again on the penalty kill with 5:15 left in the second period. Scores 4-3 in favor of Carshield. Olsen in to take the draw. Olsen wins that draw, goes right on net. Wall's able to make a save. Morvacek then moves out. He throws it up the boards. Guardians trying to hammer that puck out of the zone, but they fire it back on net. Wall pushes it out to the corner. Morvacek rims it around. Campbell now with it on the half wall as he tries to battle that puck out of the zone. Comes back to Morvacek. Morvacek now starts to skate it around behind his net. He throws it around. Olsen's going to be on the far side. He tries to tip it out, unable to get it. Puck's now loose right on the half wall. Comes out to their point. They move towards the net. They then throw it off into the near corner here. Morvacek goes back to pick it up. Morvacek ends up losing that puck as Carshield comes around with it behind the net. They throw it right out front. Nobody's there. O'Brien now. Carshield picks it up in the high slot. They skate it down into the near corner. They then throw it towards the net. That goes off the back side of it and around to the far corner. Carshield now with it. They throw it back on net, and that's going to be gloved and held on to by Wall. Off back in the Guardian zone. Bars take the draw. Carshield pushes it back out to their defense. Bars able to knock that puck down. He then gets it up to Algrim. Algrim now has a lane to the outside. He tries to cut it back towards the net, moves it. Puck's bouncing in front. Carshield now coming back the other way. They're moving to the outside. Simonson trying to get back. He gets the stick on it and able to poke. Algrim now picks it up. He chips it off the boards, comes right back to him. He now skates it to the outside. He's got the lane. He skates it around behind the net. He dumps it off to Higgy at the point. Higgy steps around one guy. He moves it towards the net. He fires, and that's gloved by the goaltender. Little face-off down in the Carshield zone. Carshield wins the draw back in the corner. They rim it around. They try to break it out of the zone. Algrim gets there. Barr's there to help out. Puck squirts loose. They're able to get it out in the neutral zone. Higgy picks it up. He dumps it out to Cronlin. Cronlin back to Higgy to the far side. Higgy now has some room to skate it up the ice. He gains the zone. He then dumps it deep. That's going to rim all the way around, and that's going to try to meet it in the near corner. He throws it back around. Carshield picks it up as they start to skate it out the other side. O'Brien's there to break that up. They then throw it out into the neutral zone where Cronlin's there to pick it up as he regroups. He passes it up to Lynette. Lynette goes down trying to hold on to that pass. They then throw it back into the neutral zone. Puck comes back out. Cronlin circles back. He sees an opening. He comes back up the far side or near side here. He moves it towards the net. He fires it. Puck's loose out in front. Barr's there. He picks it up on the far side. He moves it out to Higgy at the point. Higgy then throws it back, trying to get it to Barr. Barr's going to pick it up in the corner. Barr circles around. He tries to kick it up to himself. He gets it on his backhand. He tries to get it over to Lynette. Lynette now battling on the half wall. That comes out to Cronlin. He skates it towards the net. He's got some room. He fires. That goes off a skate and back into the corner. Cronlin then centers. That's loose out in front. Comes to Lynette. Lynette tries to fire. That doesn't get through. Comes out to Cronlin back at the point. Cronlin passes it over to Higgy, but he's not able to hold the zone as it was off his mark. Higgy then goes cross ice back to Cronlin. Cronlin moves it up to Lynette. Lynette now skating it in towards the net. He fires from a hard angle shot. Puck's loose out in front. O'Brien shoots. Puck's just loose out in front. Another shot on net. That comes out. Cronlin's going to step up. He tries to poke that puck away. Carshield now moving it to the outside. They try to move it up the ice. That's broken up. Pass back to Barr. Barr now with it as Guardians are moving back the other way. He moves it into the middle. He cuts back to the outside. Tries to go through the skates. He has that puck taken away. Carshield now coming back out of the zone. That's going to come back to Crownland. Crownland now steps around a guy, gets it back to Lynette. Lynette starts to step into the zone. He drops it off the bar. Bar with it. He fires. Just goes off the blocker and down into the corner. Lynette picks it up. He fires it back out front. The bar. Bar shoots. That's blockered again by that goaltender. Bar now with it. He passes it out. He gets stripped off the puck. His Carshield's able to move it down in the neutral zone. Moravicek now with it. He throws it back up to O'Brien. O'Brien's then stripped off the puck. Carshield coming back the other way. We got a 3-on-2. Higgy to push him to the outside. He's able to get it into the corner. Guardians pick it up just outside their blue line. O'Brien centering pass to Amos. Amos now skates it to the outside. He's then poked off the puck as Carshield starts to come back the other way. We got a 3-on-2 once more coming back. Higgy's able to get back. Sorry, that's Olsen. Olsen passes it up to Campbell. Campbell's moving up the far side. He gets it in the middle. He's got a lane to shoot. He fires. And that's gloved and held on to by the Carshield goaltender with 38 seconds left in the period. A lot of back and forth action there. Guardians had a lot of chances there. That goaltender's doing a nice job keeping that puck out of the net. Olsen in to take the draw. Carshield wins it back into their corner. They rim it around to the near side here. Moravicek's going to step up. He gets it on his backhand, trying to skate it into the zone. He centers. That goes wide of the net, goes around to the far side. Olsen's there. He tries to step around a guy, but he's taking out the puck. Carshield then tries to go up the boards, but that's blocked. That comes out to Simonson. Simonson steps towards the net. He then backhands it. Puck's loose right there in the slot. Comes in. Goaltender's able to push it. Cuts. Comes right in, right onto the goal line, but the defense is able to poke it out of there. I don't think that crossed the line. We now got some pushing and shoving, as we'll have one more face-off down in the Carshield zone with 9 seconds left. One more great scoring opportunity. That was behind the goalie, right on the goal line. The defense is able to get a stick on it, push it out of there. Face-off goes out into the corner. That comes to Simonson at the point. He tries to get it over to Moravicek. That goes out in the neutral zone, but that's going to do it for the second period. Guardians put a few more on the board there. We're able to tie this up. Carshield came back with a goal of their own. Score is now 4-3 as we move into the third. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back for the third. Face-off comes back to Barr as he moves it through the neutral zone. We're going to be offside. He just hesitated to get that puck across the blue line. Well, a face-off just outside the zone. Puck comes down into the Carshield zone, then back out to the neutral zone. Campbell dumps it off to Higgy. Higgy goes up the boards, trying to get it to Algrim. He can't hold on. Algrim throws it back on the neutral zone. Barr picks it up. He comes over. He moves it over to Campbell. Campbell circles back to create some space. He then goes cross ice to Higgy. Higgy starts to skate in the zone. He's got some room. He gets it to the outside. He fires. Nope. He holds up. He skates it around. He's looking for an opening. He's then stripped off the puck. As Carshield starts to come back through the neutral zone, Crowlin steps up. Not able to hold him as Carshield moves into the zone. Algrim then strips him off. Crowlin picks it up. Barr now is able to strip the puck away. We're going to have another penalty for a trip. Looks like that'll be on Carshield though, as Crowlin went down. Guardians have an opportunity here as they're going on the power play, faced off down in Carshield's zone. Scores 4-3 in favor of Carshield with 13:08 left in the third period. Carshield wins the draw. They start to skate around the zone. They try to then go high off the glass. Simonson's there to hold the zone. He skates it to the middle. He gets it over to Morvacek. Morvacek now with some room. He moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien comes back. He goes back to Morvacek at the point. Morvacek moves it over to Simonson in the middle of the ice. Simonson fires it on net, and that's gloved but held on to by the goaltender. Barr moves in to take the draw. Face-off goes back to Carshield as they start to move it around behind their net. They then pass it up the boards. That's enough to get out into the neutral zone. Crowlin goes back to regroup. Crowlin starts to circle up the ice. He then goes cross ice to Amos. Amos with it, taking it up the near side. Amos tries to get it. Barr picks it up. He's poked off that puck. Higgy trying to hold his zone. He comes back to regroup in the neutral zone. He passes it over to Crowlin. Crowlin now starts to move it up. He goes back to Higgy. Higgy now with it. He moves it up to Amos. Amos has that puck stripped off as they come back into the neutral zone. Higgy then goes cross ice. O'Brien's got a lot of room on the far side. He moves into the middle. He fires it on net. That just goes over the top. Barr picks it up. He comes back. Puck's loose in front. Shot. Another save by that goaltender. O'Brien picks it up in the corner. He dumps it back off to Higgy at the point. Higgy now starts to step around a guy as he moves it in towards the net. He's got a lane. He fires. That's loose. Puck's right out in front. Comes all the way back to the blue line. Crowlin's able to pick it up to hold the zone. He moves it over to Barr. Barr now with it. He moves it to Higgy at the point. Higgy now over to Crowlin on the far side. Crowlin fires it down deep to Campbell. Campbell now goes back to Crowlin. Crowlin now moves in. He comes back to Campbell in the middle. Campbell moves in. He fires, and that's a goal! That's Crowlin to Campbell. Campbell walks it in from the corner and able to beat that goaltender's short side. Excellent power play there for the Guardians as they were able to work that puck around. Finally able to find a seam up the side out of the corner, and Campbell buries it short side. Face-off's won by the Guardians. Simonson now with it. He regroups in his own zone over to Morvacek. Morvacek goes back cross ice to Simonson. Simonson then moves it up to Algrim. Algrim tries to chip it up into the boards as he battles there on the half wall. They throw it back up the boards. They start to leave the zone. They move it up into the middle of the ice. Morvacek's back. He gets stepped around. They got a lane to the net. They shot. That's a sealed up by Wall, and he covers. That's a huge save there for Wall as he got a complete breakaway as he moved around Morvacek. Morvacek better go give him a pat on the head after that one, as he saved that one. Score still 4-4 with 11:08 left in the third period. Face-off's won by Carshield down in the Guardian zone. They step through it. They center it. Somehow that goes in. And Carshield regains the lead. Here at center ice. Carshield wins the draw back to their defense. They go D to D and then up the boards here. They can't hold on to it. Higgy then tries to go cross ice, but that's blocked. Carshield picks it up. Cronlin then able to poke it away. Guardians unable to get it out of the zone. Cronlin intercepts it there and skates it around his own net. He then gets it up to O'Brien. O'Brien starts to move it up. He gets it to Barr. Barr now moving it to the outside. He cuts back towards the middle. He toe drags around one. Shot to goal! Wow, he toe dragged around that guy, brought it back to his backhand, and shelves it to equalize this one. A lot of back and forth in this game as Guardians come back with another goal to tie this at 5-5 with 10:32 left in the third period. Carshield comes out with the draw as they start to push it towards the Guardian zone. They're going to be offsides. Carshield comes away with the draw there as they dump it down into the zone. Moravicek goes back to pick it up in the corner. He goes D to D. Net throws it off the side of the net, goes back behind as he battles for the puck. Puck's now blocked. Lynette now trying to get it out of the zone. He tries to backhand it up to Amos, but that's out of his reach. Amos now hustling. He's able to get around that defender. He's got a lane to the net. He gets pushed to the outside. He wraps around, throws it out front. Puck comes out to Moravicek at the point. Simonson back to Moravicek. That puck's intercepted. Carshield now almost with a near breakaway, but Guardians are able to get back and break that up in the neutral zone. Lynette picks it up. He skates it back into his own zone, trying to create some space. He moves it into the middle. He's now moving it through. He gets it to the inside. He fires. That goes over the top of the net. Olsen now with it, trying to get control of it in the corner. That comes out to Lynette. Lynette goes to Simonson on the point. Simonson over to Amos. Amos gets knocked off the puck there. Simonson, or Amos there, just trying to use his body for some positioning there. The other guy ends up falling over, and they're going to call a penalty. Guardians go back on the penalty kill. Face off down in their zone. Barnes takes the draw. He wins it back to Cronlin. Cronlin rims it around to the far side. Auburn moves to the far wall to pick it up. Auburn picks it up. He moves it over to Cronlin. Cronlin then loses it right out front. They shoot. That goes over the top of the net. Higgy now with it. He stops. He's getting pursued. They get it. They pass it right out front. That's broken up. Another shot. That goes wide. Carshield now picks it up. They move it out to the point. They move it back down into the corner. Cronlin there. He gets it out. Barr's able to get it up out of the zone. Barr now has a step. He's got a lane to the net. He's gonna get a shot. Hopefully he fires. He flings that thing about 4 miles over the net. As Auburn goes to battle in the near corner here. Carshield comes out with it. They start to leave the zone. They go cross ice. That's gonna go long. Cronlin steps up. They're going to dump it all the way down into the zone. Higgy's forced to go back to regroup. Guardians able to get that puck all the way down into Carshield's zone as they regroup, start to move it back into the neutral zone. They then go cross ice. They move it to the outside. Cronlin there, and then back in the middle, intercepted by Olsen. Olsen then fires it off the boards back into the neutral zone. Carshield regroup, and they go cross ice as they're moving it up the near side. Simonson's there to put pressure on him. Right there on the half wall. O'Brien's there. He's able to flip that high off the glass. Not enough for an icing. Carshield forced to go back to regroup in their own zone. Carshield now steps around a couple guys. O'Brien's there. He pokes the puck away. He pokes it away once more. They're unable to get it out. Simonson steps up. He circles back. He then goes cross ice to Moravicek. Moravicek with some room to the far side. He dumps it back down all the way around. Carshield picks it up. We're going to have a slashing penalty on Carshield. With 7:28 left in the third period, Guardians will go on the power play. Ref drops that puck as Carshield's making a change. They'll blow the whistle dead, and we'll try this again. Guardians win the draw. Try to get it out to Simonson, but that's out of his reach. Comes back out in the neutral zone. He circles around. He then moves it up to Amos. Amos tries to get it down deep. Olsen there. They fire it back through. That's going to go the length of the ice. They're going to wave no icing. Morvacek forced to go back to pick it up. He starts to skate it up the ice. He then goes cross ice to Amos. Amos starts to skate it up the near side here. He then goes cross ice trying to get to Morvacek. Morvacek then dumps it down deep into the zone. Carshield picks it up. That's poked away. Olsen now with it. He fires it. That's loose out in front. Guardians come in. O'Brien tries to poke that one in, but that goaltender's able to hold his ground there and keep that one out of the net. O'Brien came in there hot. Goalie's taking his glove off, looking at his hand. Looks as though he's going to be all right. We got 45 seconds left on this power play. Carshield wins the draw as they start to move it around. They throw it around the net. Higgy's there trying to hold his own. He's unable to do so. That comes back out of the neutral zone. Higgy now with it. He looks cross ice. Gets it up to Barr. Barr now moving it in. He moves it to the middle of the ice. He drops it to Algrim. Algrim then drops it to Higgy at the point. He's got some room. He looks around. He goes back to Algrim. Algrim tries to step it into the middle of the ice. Comes loose, puck's loose out in front. That comes back into the corner. Higgy's now going to step, trying to hold his zone. He's able to do so. He's now got it. He moves it into the middle of the ice. He cuts back. Barr picks it up as he starts to circle around behind it. He wraps it around, shot, and a goal! Goal by Barr. He fakes that wrap around going one way, comes back the other, and able to bury it in. That puts a lead up for the Guardians. With 6:02 left in the third period. Guardians once again able to capitalize on that power play. We'll move into a face-off at center ice. Carshield comes over the draw. They skate it right into the zone. Simonson then pushes it off to the far wall. Campbell picks it up. He goes around behind the net. He passes it up to O'Brien. O'Brien tips it back to Campbell. Campbell's got some speed to the outside. He's got a lane to the net. He's got Olsen on the far side. He fires, but that's blocked. Shot goes around behind the net. Carshield picks it up as they come back the other way. They try to go high up off the glass. Simonson there to hold the zone. He flips it back up deep into the zone. Carshield picks it up in the corner. They rimming around behind the net where he's met with a couple Guardian players. Puck's now loose right at the dot. That comes out to Simonson. Simonson able to hold his own once more. He dumps it down deep. Comes back to Simonson. Simonson over to Campbell. Campbell now with it. He passes it off front. Puck's loose. Still loose out in front. Shot. Just stays out of the net. Campbell picks it back up. He circles around. He moves towards the net. He fires. Comes out to Olsen. Olsen fires right out front. Puck's loose. Oh, Campbell's got it. He's got some room. He drops it to Amos. Or O'Brien. O'Brien tries to get it to the net. We're now got a penalty as Carshield just completely throws a shoulder into Campbell as he goes down. And Guardians go back on the power play. 4:56 left in the third. Guardians up by 1 with a score of 6-5. As they push to try to close this one out. Carshield wins the draw. Barr then pokes away in the corner. There comes back. Barr trying to get it to Lynette. Barr now strips him off the puck. Carshield then able to throw it out into the neutral zone. Conlon's going to pick it up as he regroups. He's going to have some room to skate here as he starts to move it up the ice. He moves it to the outside. He then toe drags around. He moves it over. Comes through the net. Puck's loose. The goaltender gets back on top to cover that one up. Well, a face-off down in Carshield zone. Conlon does a nice job there entering the zone. He's able to push that puck out into the middle. It deflects. Goaltender's then able to get a glove on it. Well, a face-off. Guardians win the draw. It goes back to Higgy at the point. Higgy moves towards the net. He then circles back to create some space. He's got some room. He fires. That's tipped. That goes wide. It almost goes into the half wall there to pick it up. He circles around the top of the circles. He then moves it over to Barr. Barr shoots. Shot. Is that in? Goaltender's able to seal that one up. Barr with a nice one-timer. But the goaltender's able to seal that one up. Face-off down in Carshield zone, 4:06 left. Face-off loose straight up. Carshield comes out with it. They start to skate it out of the zone. They're moved up the near side. They then dump it all the way down. Conlon's going to go back to pick it up on the far side. He goes down. He's able to hold on to the puck, though. He then throws it up the boards to Lynette. Lynette now gets it up. Barr can't hold on to it. Carshield with it in a high slot. That's poked away. Amos going to pick it up on the half wall on the near side here. He starts to turn it up ice. He then goes cross ice to Lynette. Lynette now has some room. He moves it to the outside. He starts to skate it around behind the net. He goes down. Barr now trying to put pressure on as they move it up the boards. Higgy's going to try to step up. Barr's going to get back. He's got pressure on as Carshield comes back the other way. Morvacek's there. They go to the outside. They can't get a shot. Shot and a goal. They just throw it to the front. Hits the inside paddle wall and it goes in. Left in the game. Scores still squared up at 6-6. Campbell starts to move in. He's taking off the pucks. Carshield starts to move it out of the zone. Olsen's there to break that play up in the neutral zone. Carshield then moves it into the middle of the ice. Morvacek steps up on the blue line. Simonson now picks it up in the neutral zone. He tries to move it to Algrim, but that puck's intercepted. Algrim comes back. Carshield starts to move it into the zone. That puck then goes into the corner. Morvacek throws it all the way around to the far corner. Campbell moves in, trying to pick up that puck. Morvacek now with it on the far side as he starts to move up the ice. He then moves it in the middle to Olsen. Olsen steps around, he gets it to Algrim. Algrim now with it. He drops it off to Campbell. Campbell tries to toe drag, but he's taking off the puck. Carshield now coming back the other way. Simonson making a move on the blue line. He gets pushed around a little bit behind Simonson. They fire, that's blocked by Wall, goes over into the far corner. Carshield now with it. Morvacek tries to poke it out. That's gonna just get outside the zone. Puck's just flopping all over the place in that neutral zone. Campbell's then able to kick that puck up into the zone as they're able to go out for a change. Carshield picks it up as they regroup in their own zone. They skate around behind the net. They bounce it off the boards and move it into the middle of the ice. That's poked away by Lynette. Lynette now tries to dump it deep. Lynette's able to hold the zone. That puck's out. Guardians try to dump it in. Carshield now able to get it out in the neutral zone. They move it through. They try to get it in the middle of the ice. That's broken up by Barr and Conlon. Higgy now moves it up to O'Brien. O'Brien then has that puck poked away as Carshield moves it back into their zone. They move it to the outside. They go around the net, then go out top to their point. That's broken up. Barr picks it up. Barr now moving it through the neutral zone. He's pushed off the puck. O'Brien now picks it up. He's got a lane to the net. He moves it to the outside. He's then pushed off. He rims it around. That's going to go all the way to Conlon at the point. Conlon fires it deep back to Lynette. Lynette tries to get it into the middle. O'Brien's not going to go get it into the corner. He's met by one of the Carshield players. He comes out with it. He moves into the middle. Barr shoots. That's kick saved away down into the corner. 58 seconds left in the period. Barr now with the puck. He starts to skate it through the top of the zone. He tries to dump it out to Cromlin. Cromlin comes back to Barr. Barr backhands it deep into the zone. We're going to have a whistle. Some of the Guardians players stopped playing there as one of the Guardians just drilled in the corner. I think they thought for sure that was going to be a call. A lot of them just kind of stopped playing there. But no call. Well, a face-off just outside the zone. Carshield then throws it the length of the ice. That's going to be right on net. Wall pushes it to Moravicek. Moravicek then goes up to Olsen. Olsen gets it up to Amos. Amos now with some room to the outside. He gains the zone. He fires it towards the middle. That's deflected off to the far side. Olsen's there to meet him. They are able to get it out to the center. Carshield now moving it through the neutral zone. That's broken up by Simonson. Puck's loose just inside the zone here. Picked up by Amos. Amos skates it over to the far side. 3 seconds left. That's going to do it for this game. As at the end of regulation, score is 6-6. Looks like both coaches there are going to agree they want to do an overtime here. So it looks like we'll have a 5-minute overtime as we try to battle our way to victory. We'll take a short break. We'll be back for the overtime. All right, we're about to start the 3-on-3 overtime. We got Algrim, Campbell, and Higgy out on the ice. Carshield wins the draw. They'll get possession first. They move it to the outside. That's poked off. Algrim now with it. He moves it down into the zone. He gets to the middle. He's then taking out the puck. Shot! That goes wide by Campbell. Algrim's going to pick it up in the corner. He tries to dump it back to Campbell. He ends up going down. We got a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. Campbell's hustling back. That's broken up by Higgy. Higgy then tries to push it to safety. They both go down. Puck's now loose. Carshield tries to bring it back to the middle. Higgy pushes his way through. Higgy's now got, we got a 2-on-1 with Algrim on the outside. Higgy steps around one. He tries to get a shot, can't get it off. Higgy comes back around. He's then poked off the puck. He regains it as he starts to skate it in towards the net. He then backhands it to Algrim. Algrim goes over to Campbell. Campbell's got some open ice. He fires. That goes wide. Higgy's going to pick it up on the far side. He drops it off to Algrim. Algrim tries to go back to Higgy, but he's able to get it back. Algrim now circles through the top of the zone. He cuts it to the outside. He's bumped off just enough where he can't get a shot. He comes back to Higgy at the point. He's got some space. He steps around, comes through the middle. Algrim's going to hustle. He's going to dump it to safety down into the zone. Campbell's going to meet him on the outside. He breaks it up. He goes down. Carshield now coming back the other way. Guardians making a line change. Carshield then dumps it. That goes to Higgy. Higgy now starts to skate it up the ice. Higgy with it. He skates it out of the zone. Barr picks it up. He takes it into the zone. He skates it into the middle. He toe drags around. He comes back. He tries to get it back to Higgy, but that's intercepted. Carshield then goes cross ice. Carshield now brings it in. They fire it towards the net, but that's blocked. That goes around behind. Puck's all loose. That's broken up by Higgy. Higgy picks it up on the far side. As he starts to look upside, he rims it all the way around. Barr is going to get there to pick it up. Barr's moving up the far side. He's hooked from behind. He still has it. He gets it. He fires. and that's blocked and covered by the goaltender. .239 left in this overtime period. We've got Barr, O'Brien, Simonson out on the ice. Carshield wins a draw. They then try to go high off the glass. Simonson's able to hold his own. He dumps it back deep into the corner where Carshield's going to pick it up. O'Brien's there. Barr's going to move out in the corner and try to hold his own. They rim it around the far side. Simonson's going to go back to pick it up to regroup. He starts to move it up. He then goes cross ice to Barr. Barr's got some room to the outside. He brings it back to the middle. He cuts back. He drops it off to O'Brien. O'Brien now pushes it into the zone. He gets to O'Brien. He comes back. That's Simonson with it at the point. He goes back to Barr in the corner. Barr now sees him on the far side. Shot! Just goes wide. Carshield now picks it up as they start to move it to the outside. They shoot it. That goes wide. That rims all the way around. O'Brien's going to pick it up. Barr's got it. He's got some room. He's got one guy to beat. He starts to move it through the zone. He's pushed off the puck. Carshield picks it up in the corner. Simonson's going to step up the hold. Puck's loose. Carshield backhands it back in the neutral zone. Lynette's going to go back to pick it up. We got 1:28 left in this period. Lynette now starts to move it through the ice. He gets it into the Carshield zone. He moves it back to the middle. He fires. That goes wide. Olsen's going to pick it up in the corner. Olsen tries to move it up front, but that's taken off the puck. Carshield now with it. They move it up. They're not able to hold on to it. That goes back to Morvacek. Morvacek's going to pick it up as he regroups in his own zone. He skates it around his own net. He then moves it to Olsen. Olsen can't hold on. Carshield now puts it in the middle. That's intercepted by Lynette. Lynette now is moving it up. He gains center ice. He starts to go into the Carshield zone. He's taken down. Carshield now coming back the other way. We got a 3-on-1 coming back. Olsen's trying to get back. They pass it up. That's broken up by Morvacek. They fire it towards the net. That's tipped, goes wide. Olsen now trying to get control of it down in the corner. Carshield circles around behind the net. Morvacek moves in. They pass it out front. That's broken up by Olsen. Morvacek now battling on the wall. They then go cross ice. Olsen trying to get it. They go back out high at the point. They dump it down to safety in the corner. 15 seconds left in the period. They pass it out. Intercepted by Lynette. Lynette backhands it just enough to get out of the zone. 8 seconds left as Carshield's regrouping. They now got a 1-on-1 coming back the other way. 4 seconds left. That's poked away by Morvacek, and that's going to do it for the overtime period. So good back and forth match here. Both teams not able to end this one in overtime, and this game will end in a tie, 6-6. Both teams will now line up as they shake hands. So 1-0-1 here for the Guardians down in St. Louis, Missouri against Carshield. We'll take a break and we'll be back this afternoon with some more Guardians hockey. I want to say thank you for those that tuned in to watch the game. We'll be back again this afternoon. But for now,